Hey guys, Cortex here, and today I'm going to talk about Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex and why I believe it's the most underrated game in the Crash series. First off, I'm not just going to glaze over this game, and in fact, I'm quite happy to point out its flaws. Well, the flaws it has in my opinion. But don't worry, I'll also mention the things people objectively dislike about the game, even if I like them. I'm going to do my best to defend this game while giving an honest review at the same time. So, let's begin with the story. As with all Crash games, the story is simple, fun, does what it needs to do and nothing more, and that's okay. We start off with Cortex and the boys getting absolutely roasted by Uka Uka because they're terrible at their jobs. Eventually, Entropy asks Cortex about something he's been working on, and Cortex dismisses this initially until Engine basically tells everyone that Cortex has been working on something huge, essentially leaving Cortex with no other choice but to explain.
In my scientific endeavors, I've been able to create a genetically advanced superweapon of unbelievable strength. But the power source is the final missing crucial element. Elements. Yes! The elementals! Right! The elementals, that's it! If released, their destructive energy could create enough power to bring my secret weapon to life. We'd have a weapon capable of crushing mountains, demolishing entire cities, and wiping Crash Bandicoot off the face of the earth forever! Get ready to face my wrath, Crash Bandicoot!
Damn, you gotta love that laugh. From here, Crash and the gang are seen enjoying a day at the beach until the elementals mess it up. This sparks suspicion in Aku Aku, who goes off to meet up with Uka Uka to find out what he and Cortex are up to. They once again meet in the space jungle temple thing from Crash Bash. The two go back and forth like Professor X and Magneto for a second until the elementals show up for their boy Uka Uka. Aku Aku isn't very pleased with Uka Uka for releasing the elementals until they all try to jump him.
Won't get away with this. Who's going to stop us?
Once Aku Aku returns, he fills Crash and Coco in on the latest, and they form a plan to re-imprison the elementals by collecting 5 power crystals for each of them. The usual stuff. They plan on doing this using a warp room Coco built, which is basically a VR warp room machine thing. Well, whatever it is, it works. But just before we dive into playing the game, we get to hear from Cortex again, and he sounds as turned on as I get when talking about our boy Crunch, the super secret weapon Cortex has been working on.
Crash Bandicoot, my old nemesis. How the heck are you? Still gathering crystals? Old habits die hard, don't they? My days are being spent on something much more intriguing. Meet Crunch, my newest creation.
This is the creature who keeps sabotaging your master plan? Ha! You gotta be kidding! I'll exterminate this field rat in no time!
Now, Crunch, your time with Crash will come soon enough. Isn't he brilliant? A testament to my true scientific genius. A real Bandicoot warrior. Unlike you, Crash. Oh well, we all make mistakes. Ta-ta for now.
Goddamn, you big, sexy Gantu from Lilo and Stitch sounding beast of a Bandicoot. Okay, now we can talk about the gameplay. First up, the controls do feel different from previous games, but definitely not in a bad way. They're just different. Crash feels weighted but floaty and light at the same time. The controls are very fluid and satisfying. But enough about controls for now, because we've got some levels to play. In Room 1 we've got 6 levels, the 5 main levels and a boss level. This applies to every room in the game, usual Crash Bandicoot stuff. Now, here's one thing I can really criticize about the game. Well, you know how a second ago I was getting all hot and bothered over Crunch? Nothing against Crunch, I love you, I mean it, I do, but he's every boss in the game. Not just one boss at the end, he's every boss. Each boss fight is Crunch, just powered by a different elemental mask. As you'll see, the boss fights are kind of a mixed bag, but more on boss fights later. In Room 1 we've got Arctic Antics, Tornado Alley, Bamboozled, Wizards and Lizards, and Compactor Reactor. Arctic Antics is a snow level if the name wasn't obvious, and it's nothing like the snow levels from Crash 2, which is unfortunate. However, Arctic Antics isn't bad, not by a long shot. It's a simple, straightforward level that lets you dive in and get a better feel for the game. There are different hazards and enemies to avoid, but nothing too challenging. Tornado Alley on the other hand is kinda shit, I won't lie. It's basically one of the warped blimp levels, but there's no challenge at all and the whole thing is over in like 2 minutes. Bamboozled introduces us to the Atmosphere, and I love this thing. Man, it's so satisfying to roll around in this thing and fly around the slopes in this level. We roll around the treetops and avoid falling off. It's simple but effective. Wizards and Lizards is a castle level, and I assume it's Cortex Castle. Similar to Arctic Antics, it's straightforward, no nonsense fun. After we finish the bonus, we're chased by a big green Spyro, a goddamn dragon. Compactor Reactor starts off with this cool little minecart section, which is fine. It's simple, easy controls, nothing to complain about, and from there we're sent flying into a factory section. And while I like the level, this section feels a little incomplete. It also introduces us to our first instance of this enemy type. Why didn't you guys program these enemies to target Crash? I mean, you're clearly capable, just look at the wizards in the previous level. Why didn't you apply this targeting to these guys? Oh well, it's shit, but what are you gonna do? Unfortunately, these guys do show up more than once, and if they were programmed to target Crash, this would have added that extra little challenge the game kinda lacks. Now then, Boss 1, Rumble in the Rocks. Crunch here is powered by the Earth Elemental Rocco, voiced by Thomas F. Wilson of the Back to the Future series, and he's given the worst voice lines in the game.
Oh, I'm gonna shake, rattle, and roll your Bandicoot butt.
Rumble in the Rocks is genuinely bad. We roll around in the Atmosphere and hit these rolling rocks to turn them blue. Once all are blue, Crunch gets hit with an ST-130. We've got to watch out for Crunch because if he knocks into us, we lose health. If he knocks into the rocks, they turn orange, and if we hit the orange rocks, we lose health also. The Atmosphere, which I mentioned is a fun vehicle, should not have been used in a boss fight. At least not in this way. I'm more than happy to say that Rumble in the Rocks is the worst boss fight in the game. And what's worse, when we beat it, we're given the worst power-up ever. The snake shoes suck worse than my grandmother on a Friday night. They allow you to tiptoe over nitro crates, which is stupid, and they're only necessary a total of like 3 times in the game. I suppose we don't have to use it much, I guess. Once beaten, we return to the warp room, and the next episode of our favourite TV show just came out.
Cortex! When are you and that super weapon of yours going to put an end to that interfering Bandicoot? You are beginning to test my patience! I'm working on a Duka Uka.
Room 2 is controlled by Wawa, the water elemental, voiced by the main man Arlie Ermy, and he's got the worst voice lines in the game.
Leave my levels alone!
Yeah, unfortunately, whoever wrote the voice lines for the elementals should have been fired day one, because these talented actors were fed straight shit to read. Anyway, Room 2 gives us Jungle Rumble, Seashell Shenanigans, Banzai Bonsai, That Sinking Feeling, H2O No, and the boss level Drain Damage. Jungle Rumble is alright. It's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about either. It forces us to use the stupid ass snake shoes in the bonus, but at least it ends with a somewhat cool Rhino Jeep chase. The Jeep is bouncy, wobbly, floaty. I love it, I hate it. It feels exactly how I'd expect it to, and it kinda doesn't. But having said that, I know this vehicle isn't for everyone, and I don't blame them. But I like it, and I don't at the same time. Seashell Shenanigans, what can I say? It's an underwater level. It may not be as refined as the underwater levels in Warped, but I prefer the underwater levels here. I know. Let me have it in the comments. I get it. Halfway through, we get this submarine, which isn't great to use. At the same time, I don't mind it. I can see everyone hating this thing passionately, but it's not that hard to use. Yes, extra hit points and better turning speed would be nice, but oh well. These levels aren't the greatest, I'll admit, but I treat them like the jetpack levels from Crash 2. They're not bad in my eyes, but they're not good. I just push through them and never really replay them outside of collecting the gems and relics. Banzai Bonsai is a brilliant Coco level set in Japan. There are plenty of hazards and enemies to avoid, and the level doesn't disappoint. This is an example of where the game really shines. The level also offers the super belly flop and the red gem path, which I think's pretty cool. That sinking feeling, similar to Tornado Alley, isn't great. Instead of the Spitfire plane, we use this Firefly thing. It's slow as shit and we're bombarded with gunfire. Just a pretty crap level overall. H2O No starts us off in the sub. I know, but this section doesn't last too long. From here, we move into a marine factory section, which is a recurring theme. Every 5th level is some sort of factory. This section reminds me of Il Deal and could have been better. It feels a little basic again, like Compactor Reactor. I like it, but I wish it had more. The boss level drain damage is fine, if a bit simple. There's not much challenge, so it kinda fits in with some of the boss levels from Crash 1 and 2, and beating it gives us double jump, which is always nice. But back to the warp room we go, where it seems the Brady Bunch are starting to burst at the seams.
You are making a mockery of me in front of my minions! Not only have you defeated the elemental masks, but you are still collecting those worthless crystals! Well, you've gotten this far, and this is as far as you're gonna get. Pyro, the fire elemental, will see to that.
Room 3 is controlled by Pyro, the fire elemental mask voiced by Mark Hamill, and while the voice lines are still shit, they are probably the best of the 4 masks.
My brethren have had some trouble with you, my little orange friend, but I'm not quite sure why. Is it getting hot in here? Is it safe to be wearing that fur? It looks flammable!
The levels are the Gauntlet, Tsunami, Smokey and the Bandicoot, Eskimo Roll, Fahrenheit Frenzy, and the boss level Crashes to Ashes. The Gauntlet is another Cortex castle level, chock full of hazards as the name implies, and I love it. Another gleaming example of a great level this game has to offer. The death rate is more of a gauntlet than the actual level itself, but it's fine. The level is well structured and evenly paced. Tsunami is another Coco level in Japan, and again, I love it. We start off making our way through the streets and over the docks during a downpour. After the bonus, we take off on our Razor scooter while a goddamn tsunami floods in behind us. It's comical and I love it. Before finishing the level, you can attempt the Blue Gem route, which is a brilliant platforming challenge through the flooded streets of Japan. Smokey and the Bandicoot is a race level in the Jeep, where we race through the desert against Tiny, Dingodile, Engine and Entropy. The Jeep's bouncy controls make this a blast, and fight me, I like it more than the motorbike races from Warped. The one thing I hate is that goddamn box gem. You have to snail your way through it, and if you miss one box, you have to start over, as reverse gear doesn't work in the Jeep. I'm joking, it doesn't have a reverse gear, but you get the idea. You could make it all the way to the level, miss the last box, and have to start the entire thing over again. This is painful, but I digress. Eskimo Roll is another Atmosphere level, and by God, it's better than Bamboozled. The only one gripe that I have is look what they did to our boys. They look so sad and pathetic. This is not how they should have been used in this game. The level has us racing down a snowy mountain terrain filled with machines, pits, and a variety of hazards, but I just wish these guys weren't used like this. Having said that, this is a phenomenal level. Again, gold standard here. Fahrenheit Frenzy starts in a lava cave, where we use the copter pack, essentially the jetpack from Crash 2. I know people hate the jetpack from Crash 2, and well, I'm not a huge fan of this copter pack either. Despite being easier to control, I usually just plow through these sections as I said earlier. From here, we enter the factory section, which is a treat. Yes, it still suffers from some of the same flaws as Compactor Reactor and H2O No, but it is a vast improvement, and the fire themed levels are excellent. I love the elemental themes in this game. The boss level Crashes to Ashes is by far the best of the first 3. We have a pyro-infused Crunch chasing us, hurling flaming rocks like bowling balls. Eventually, we chase him in the red mech suit with a fire extinguisher. The chase gets longer each time, and Crunch leaves behind small flaming rocks we must avoid, and the boss level is just cool, man. Beating Crunch this time around gives us the tornado spin, and back to the warp room we go, where it seems the Brady Bunch are bursting at the seams yet again.
Cortex! Why is that mindless Marsupio still collecting those crystals? He's defeated Rocco and Wawa! I'm beginning to question the value of your super weapon! I don't need another mask's help. I could take this crash punk out with my metal arm tied behind my...
Room 4 is controlled by Lolo, the air elemental, voiced by Jess Harnell, one of the many voice actors for Crash himself. He has the worst lines in the game. I know I said Rocco and Wawa had shit lines, but fuck me, these are bad.
Crash Bandicoot, eh? Oh, I've heard so much about you, and this is the hero I have to blow away? Huh, seems like a bunch of hot air to me. Is there a draft in here? Not used to the weather here, I a wimp.
The levels are Avalanche, Droid Void, Crash Droids, Coral Canyon, Weathering Heights, and the boss level, Atmospheric Pressure. Avalanche is another Coco level, where she snowboards down a mountain with an avalanche chase at the end. There's a little flag challenge that rewards a gem if you beat it, and the level is good. It's fine, not bad at all. Droid Void is a really cool level on a dark spaceship full of robots and cyborgs. We get to control the mech suit, and for anyone bitching about this thing, fair enough, but I like it. It may be a little clunky and slow, but in my opinion it's fun to use. Crash Droids is just shit. I don't have a single nice word to say here. Another bad flight level, this time in space with Coco and a spaceship taking down 3 space stations, each with 3 force field things floating around that need to be destroyed first. Hurl this level in the shit can. Coral Canyon, not gonna bother explaining. Next level, Weathering Heights, is the first factory level that doesn't start with a vehicle section. It takes place on a crashing airship. This level is solid. I can't think of a single bad thing to say. Fuck it. I still like the level, but this needs addressing. Monkey bar reels in Crash Bandicoot games, or any game for that matter, should not be this fucking slow. Moving on. The boss level Atmospheric Pressure is basically a diet version of Engine from Warped. Crunch as a huge genie looks cool though. Admit it, that looks cool. Apart from that, what can I say? It's really unimaginative and unoriginal, but it's still fun. And I know some of you out there are gonna take exactly what I just said to describe this level and use it to describe the game as a whole. I'll give you half a point I guess. But once we beat Crunch here, we get the Fruit Bazooka. Room 5 is controlled by all the elemental masks, or just Cortex, or just Crunch. Who knows? The levels are Crash and Burn, Gold Rush, Medieval Madness, Great Balls of Fire, Cortex Vortex, and the boss level Crunch Time. And that title gets me way more excited than it should. Crash and Burn is another great level that sees Crash climbing an erupting volcano. It has a stupid turtle ride at the start which feels unnecessary. That's my only minor complaint. The level is a blast. Gold Rush is the longest level in the game and I absolutely adore it. It's a Wild West themed level with a variety of enemies and hazards. There's a mineshaft section in the middle with a hand car, which is fine, but again, those goddamn monkey bar reels. Medieval Madness is another great Atmosphere level, better than Bamboozled, but not as good as Eskimo Roll. Great Balls of Fire is another great mech suit level where Crash traverses a spaceship and races away from it as it explodes behind us. Cortex Vortex is one of my favourite levels in the game, hands down. Perfect platforming, just the right amount of challenge, full of hazards and enemies, with the coolest futuristic space factory. Levels like this make me love the game as much as I do. The final boss level, Crunch Time, could have been better, but it's not bad. It's actually quite good. Crunch hops on different buttons with a different elemental mask corresponding to each button. He can chain attacks, which can be tricky when multiple attacks are active. It would have been cooler if it were a real one-on-one with Crunch using different elemental masks like he does here, but oh well. When he's out of breath, we shoot him with the Fruit Bazooka. He punches Cortex, allowing us to give him a little slap. Repeat a few times as it gets quicker and more challenging, and beating him gives us the sprint shoes for those sweet relics in the time trails. After this, we receive one of 2 endings depending on completion. With the first ending, Uka Uka states that all hope is not lost, as the elementals can be brought back one last time with the gems. But after collecting everything and beating Crunch again, we get the ending where Uka Uka gets pissed at Cortex, damages the space station, and Crunch is freed from Cortex's control and joins the good guys. Crash and Aku Aku hitch a ride with Coco back home while the space station blows up, leaving Cortex and Uka Uka stranded in the Antarctic wastes, where Uka Uka tries to cook Cortex's cheeks. The 5 bonus levels on the upper floor are all dog shit. Nighttime is lazy, Recycled Gauntlet in the dark, Ghost Town is a minecart race of Crunch you can literally beat by doing nothing, Ice Station Bandicoot is an awful copter pack ring race against a polar bear, Solar Bowler isn't bad, it's an Atmosphere space level and is actually fun but tricky, and Force of Nature is complete dog shit, just Coco snowboarding down a mountain while nothing happens. Now, one thing I will admit about this game is it's a mixed bag when it comes to the quality of the levels. I mean, there's no consistency and you'll never play two similar levels in a row if you play the levels in order, but I see that as a huge positive. You're never doing the same thing over and over and over again, and some may not like all the vehicles, and fair enough. Some may not like the game full stop, and fair enough too. If you don't like the game, you don't like the game. But for those of you who've never played it, I highly recommend giving this game a chance. One of the best aspects which I have failed to mention until now is the goddamn music. Every single level has its own unique banger. The music in the Wrath of Cortex is easily the best in the series, by far in my opinion. Some people would give that award to Twinsanity, and while I agree the music in Twinsanity is really cool and unique, I don't know, I have to give it to the Wrath of Cortex. The time trials in this game are some of the most fun and challenging. My brother and I are so competitive when it comes to time trials in Crash Bandicoot games, but in the Wrath of Cortex more than any other, and especially in Arctic Antics. We've both spent hours on end trying to beat each other's fastest times in this one level alone, and it's just a blast. Plus there are some absolutely insane world records on YouTube. Just check them out. I even mentioned a few of them in my fastest world record time trials video. Ultimately, the Wrath of Cortex boils down to a super fun game if you give it a chance to shine, and shine it does with levels like Crash and Burn, Banzai Bonsai, Wizards and Lizards, The Gauntlet, Eskimo Roll, Wuthering Heights, and Cortex Vortex to name a few. Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex is criminally underrated and unfairly hated in my opinion, and I will always love this game and hold it in high regard. And well folks, that's all from me. What do you think of The Wrath of Cortex? Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with me, and why? Do you like this game? Am I a jackass? Let me know, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to get a free old man and a free one night stand with Uka Uka. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Now, I'm off to suck on Crunch's sweet juicy taffy nipples.